So the oregano came back naturally, which was pretty unexpected for me, but I seen bushes at some of the community garden places that were huge, so I figured they would have to come back. And you can see the cucumbers. I actually have little cucumbers. We're about to go down to below 32 for 2 nights next week, which kind of worried about, but I know these plants are strong. So these are all beets right here. You can kind of see them all right here. And basically, I just kind of did like a kind of a crash course with beets to see like how many I can run in a row. I've seen like people go crazy and be successful, so I'm gonna see. And I'm gonna pick out all like the ones that don't perform, and that's gonna help thin them out. But I mean, basically I direct sowed all these just because I don't have much room on my grow racks to have all types of stuff. And last year I tried to do beets just like as a transplant, and it didn't go too well. But I mean, so I decided to direct sow them this year. And you know, this is just some butterfly bush cuttings that I took. You know, they're growing well. And all my tomato plants kind of are doing really well, despite it being rainy and stuff. You know, I think next year I gotta start like a week or two later, and I definitely want to use a different soil. This year my seedlings some did really well and others had a rough start. And you know, last year I didn't really have many rough starts, and the only thing I did was really change the soil. So we're gonna try and play with that. But you can see all the asparagus popping out. And I did plant new crowns. I added like 20 more crowns across the back because I don't really harvest the asparagus yet because I don't get enough of it. But you can kind of see there's some little guys right there and more right here. And I've been adding like a little bit of sand to there, just like not crazy amounts, but enough to like turn it into kind of like a loam, but not like too heavy of a loam, like a sandy loam. And basically all my tomato plants are actually doing pretty well. There was some weak ones that I did remove and I replaced because I still have another 20 tomato plants in the basement that I would like to put out. But I was like, you know what, we'll just keep them here, see which ones don't really do well with the transplant, and then we'll go from there. And basically tomatoes are doing really well. As you can tell, a tomato plant that is cold, they get darker, and when they're warm they get lighter, and they kind of like change their pigmentation to attract light, and that's pretty cool. But also you can kind of just feel them, like they're good. They're all actually doing better than I expected, which is awesome. Transplant shock was pretty much like 2 or 3 days for them all. Now my fig trees are all starting to get buds and stuff. These are some new cuttings that I added this year, and I'm just waiting for them to take, and you know, it could take a while. But this year I'm gonna do more like prune with the propagation balls on my main ones out front, and I'm gonna try and get as many just started so I can start grafting in the following year and start grafting my own fig plants. Now, my only thing that's taken forever out of the figs to pop out is my Ronde Bordeaux. And basically, you know, this plant kind of had a rough run last year, and that's my own fault because I put it in the ground and I pulled it out of the ground because I kind of want to keep all but my Chicago Hardy in the ground just to save spots, because I believe I'm going to do some honeyberries all over there, maybe like 8 bushes of honeyberries, and that will come with time. That's like after I get my blueberry collection perfect and everything else. But you can see all these fresh little fig leaves. Now these are the leaves that if you wanted to brew some really nice fig leaf tea, it's these little green ones. You dehydrate these and then you can make some tea out of them, and it tastes like coconuts. It's pretty cool. This is a mini variety called the Fignomial, and that's from Burpees, which I'm just keeping it because I wanted to get the rubies and just kind of have some small dwarf figs in my collection. And that's pretty much it for the figs. Let them do their things. And it kind of looks like some of them are actually already starting fig production. I mean, like, that's crazy. But so I ordered like 50 crowns of strawberries, and there were 3 varieties. I got the Seascapes, and the Eries, and I forget the last one, but I have it all written down. I have like 4 varieties of strawberries, 5, 6 counting. I have a variety that I don't know, and then also I got, some Fragaria Nassas all across the tops of them. They're pretty much all those ones. And you can see they're doing really well. Like, the leaves are all popping out. And I actually went and ordered some more crowns just so I have them. Because honestly, I want to make sure these just pure strawberry towers. I wanted to add more berries to my collection, but look at this. Look at the blueberries. The flowers are so cool. They're like almost little lanterns. And this is my 2nd year, and all the rest I ordered this year, but I'm gonna order 2 more. And I wanted to have around 7 bushes just for myself, and my family. And I noticed that some people get crazy harvest off of like 5 or 6 bushes. So I figured, why not? Now, we can walk through here. And I'm going to aggressively prune this year. As you can see, we have all the poles and structures. And that's pretty much good. So basically, all my sugar snaps are growing really well, and I did more beets like right here just to have them growing. And as you can see, all the tomatoes are doing well. I wasn't going to trellis them until I let them get a little beefier, because I just don't see the point. Like, they can hold themselves up for now. It's not gonna be rushed. But all my peppers are doing really well, and my lemon tree is going through a crazy bloom, and it's like, honestly, like hundreds of flowers. I decided that next year I'm gonna basically focus on my satsuma and then my lemon tree, and they're gonna be the only plants that I really like bring indoors next year, that require supplemental lighting all winter. You can see more of this. My butterfly bush is coming out so strong. This it took me forever to get this bad boy, but also there is a bunch of sunflowers and stuff that are gonna probably reseed there, hopefully. As you can see, they're already kind of popping up where they shouldn't belong. And my squash really got hurt really bad during the frost, so I'm starting more squash like as we speak, and definitely gonna next year not start my squash the same time I start my tomatoes, because they just grew so much faster. I would say like they were pretty much growing 2 weeks in advance. But basically this is what we're working with. And I still have maybe like 10 squash plants, 12 squash plants that are still going to grow very healthy. But I noticed the rise and shines do not do well with cold, so that's something I got to keep in mind. And the zucchinis did a little better. But I also think it's because that area behind my Musa Bajuls is really damp, and I think it's colder over there, and I think that's why most of them died over there. But that's just going to be for now, and I'm going to transplant all my blueberries into bigger stuff, and basically go through all my fig trees after they bloom and get them into bigger containers, because 1, 2, 3, 4, so like 5 or 6 of them are gonna be transplanted, which I'm cool with. I mean, I'm just gonna do it all and basically work on that. But that's pretty much it for today. I wanted to just show you like how the garden's doing. And I do got a freeze coming, but you know, this is part of the gamble, and you want to have strong plants. Like, to me, I would rather have a bunch of plants that are gonna take a beating and give it back, you know, versus a bunch of plants that just didn't do well and they're kind of, you know, just doing okay. But that's just how it goes. And you know, you live and you learn, and you add every year. But pretty much I don't really got much more stuff to add to my collection, and that's pretty much it.